Zhang Shichao, a former lawyer in Jinan, Shandong province, fled China in 2018 after police summoned him for filing class compensation lawsuits against developers. Zhang told the Epoch Times that he represented many property owners in class lawsuits against developers, mostly against state-owned enterprises. In September 2018, Jinan Public Security Department summoned him and threatened to prosecute. Foreseeing the looming danger, Zhang fled China on October 8, 2018 with great difficulties, making transit at Hong Kong, New Zealand, Fiji, and finally arriving in the United Kingdom.
At the end of 2012, I transferred to Jinan branch of Yingke law firm, where I formed a rights defending team specializing in class action lawsuits for people at the grassroots level. We acted as the plaintiff's attorney for those who bought properties from state-owned developers but did not get a title document. We handled nearly 1,000 such cases and sued about a dozen state-owned developers. The Chinese government was forced to pay tens of millions of yuan to compensate my clients. As a result, I became a criminal suspect charged with blackmailing the government. The Shandong Provincial Public Security Department openly placed me on the wanted list. I used to own 3 houses, 1 car, and 2 bank accounts in Jinan. The authorities have frozen all these assets. I am currently in dire financial straits. All these cases I represented have gone through the civil trial at the court with the issuance of a civil judgment or mediation statement. The entire procedure was completely legal and every compensation was confirmed by the court's mediation statement or judgment. There is absolutely no blackmailing involved. Therefore, I am very confident that, be it the legal procedures or the compensations my clients received, there is nothing illegal.
Could you please give us more details about these cases? Why did all the cases involve state-owned developers? Also, the developers should have all the legal documents ready before they put the houses on market.
Good question. It is true that the state-owned developers should have all the legal documents when selling the houses. The issue is, these homeowners all purchased the houses 2 or 3 years before the property was ready for sale. During these 2 or 3 years, the developers often altered the original planning to be able to make more profits. For instance, a developer originally planned to build a 10-story building, but he ended up with a 12 or 15-story building in order to make more money. Due to lack of government supervision or some shady transactions, no one came to check during the construction. But upon completion, the Planning Bureau would come to inspect the project before the title document could be issued. When the inspector from the Planning Bureau checked the completed project against the original plan, he would say, the original construction permit was granted for a 10-story building, but now you have 15 stories, so I won't grant you the title document. However, all the units were sold. The biggest winner is the developer, and the biggest losers are the buyers, who spent millions of yuan on a unit with no title document. In China, everyone knows that having no title document means that you are not the legal owner of the property. In China, such cases can be found in many major cities, not just Jinan. They are very common, especially during the real estate boom a few years ago.
What did you do to help these property owners? Did you encounter any harassment from the public security or government agencies when you helped them file lawsuits?
Yes, when I handled these cases, police stations in almost every district in Jinan asked me to go meet with them and they threatened me. Jinan's Judicial Bureau also threatened to deny the annual renewal of my lawyer license. The most serious incident was of a mafia group who punctured all 4 tires of my car and left a letter on the windshield saying that they knew clearly which grade and class my daughter was attending in her kindergarten. I believe they were hired by a government agency. That was the most serious threat my family has ever encountered.
How old was your daughter at the time?
She was 4 and just started kindergarten.
Did you and your wife feel afraid?
Yes, and we reported to the police, but they did not take any action, saying that there was no way they could find out who did it.
Are government agencies and public security involved aware of the special features of your lawsuits? I mean, the fact that you were suing state-owned developers.
Yes, they are. Under China's current system, state-owned enterprises represent the government, and the interests of state-owned enterprises represent the interests of the government. All income of state-owned enterprises belongs to the government. In other words, these companies are directly controlled by the government, and every penny they compensate will eventually be passed on to local governments.